Hey guys! So today's video, if you aren't already aware, is going to be my TBR pile for the TBR Takedown 5.0 Readathon. This readathon is taking place from February 6th until 12th, and as always, it is hosted by Shannon at Leaning Lights. I will link her down below, as well as the help of some yet-to-be-named hosts. And of course, as with a lot of readathons, there are particular challenges to try and maybe get you to read books that you wouldn't normally read or books you've been putting off on your bookshelf. And since this is specifically a TBR Takedown pile, it's pretty important to have challenges to get you to pick up books you haven't really thought about reading in a while. There are 5 challenges. I have picked out 1 book for each challenge. The first challenge is to pick a book that's been on your shelf for over a year, and I decided to go with Redeployment by Phil Clay. This was on my books I want to read in 2017 list, and it has just barely now been on my shelf for over a year, so I think it's fitting that I put it on this list. The book is a bunch of fictional short stories about soldiers in Iraq. It's supposed to be gritty and hard-hitting, very realistic of modern warfare, and one of those books that seems to be finding its place within the war genre very well. It also got a fair amount of hype on BookTube about a year ago or so, so I'm excited to finally pick it up and read it. The second challenge is to pick a book from your most recent book haul. I haven't actually hauled this book because I got it for Christmas, and I only got 2 books for Christmas, so I haven't made a book haul. This one is called 100 Hikers, 100 Hikes, and it's put together by Andrew Kamani. The little thing here says From Tobermory to Kilimanjaro, and it's basically a bunch of different stories about hikes that people have gone on around the world. They sold it on the Bruce Trail website. My boyfriend and I hiked the Niagara section of the Bruce Trail last fall, and since then we've been continually talking about when are we going to get the chance to hike it again, because we're currently in winter here in Canada, so winter hiking is not as much fun. So this book he purchased for me because he knew it would kind of help keep the dream alive of hiking more of the Bruce Trail. The third challenge is to read the first book in a series, and a lot of you will recognize this one. It's Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I believe I had this in a different TBR at one point and I just never got to it. I actually don't have that many books that are the beginning of a series, an actual series anymore. I just tend to not gravitate towards those books as much. It's also hard to find one that isn't super long either, because this is a readathon. You don't want to try and read a 500-page book during a readathon. It's just not the best idea. So once again, I am putting this one on my list. We shall see. I don't have high hopes of getting all the way through it, but I do want to read it, so it deserves a spot on this list. The fourth challenge is to catch up on a series, and I don't really have too many choices for this one either, so I sort of have to go with Then He Ate My Boy Entrancers by Louise Renison, and I'm sure many of you are rolling your eyes because these books, if you know them, the Georgia Nicholson series, they have the craziest titles, the weirdest titles. This is book 6 of 10. I read 1 through 5, not this summer that just happened, but the summer of 2015, and I said, okay, I'll read the first 5 and then I'll read 6 to 10 later, and I still haven't gotten around to reading 6 to 10, so it's high time I did that. The other thing is these books are perfect for readathons because the font is gigantic, so it does not take a very long time to read them. The final challenge is to read a book that's out of your comfort zone. I do have a few of these on my bookshelf, but they all tended to be larger books that I wouldn't necessarily want to read for a readathon, so I decided to kind of twist that a little bit, and I picked up a self-published book called A Clerical Error by J.J. Carter. You never quite know with self-published books, so it is a bit out of my comfort zone, but I'm hoping things go well. This is about a vicar who lives in one of those quiet English villages, and the next door neighbor dies. Everyone thinks it's a heart attack, but the vicar thinks it might be foul play, and of course no one believes him, because why on earth would that happen in this quiet little English village? So I believe this is about the vicar kind of trying to prove that, hey, I think somebody killed this guy. He didn't just die of his own accord. And that's that. Those are the 5 books that I would like to try and tackle during the TBR Takedown 5.0 Readathon. If you guys are participating in the Readathon, let me know what books you're going to try and read down below, whether or not you're going to try and tackle any of the challenges, because you never have to tackle the challenges, but they're fun. It makes you pick out books you wouldn't necessarily pick out. As always, all of our links are in the doobly-doo. Check those out if you feel so inclined. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you later.